What's good, everyone? My name is Hyphen, this is Mixtape, and today I'm going to be showing off my top songs of 2024. And this time, I'm not a whole year late. See, I can do it if I try, guys. Before we dive into yet another wonderful group of songs, I need to once again mention my two quick rules. Rule one is that for a song to qualify for this list, I have to have heard it for the first time in 2024. It could have released anytime, any year. As long as it got to me and got into my mixtape in 2024, it qualifies for this list. Rule two is that when we make our way from the honorable mentions into the proper top songs, there will only be one song per artist. What this means is that I need you guys to be locked in throughout the entirety of the honorable mentions because there just might be some list-worthy songs in there. And that pretty much does it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Top Songs 2024. Starting with Music is all around you. I heard this song for the first time out of a Pump It Up XL machine at my favorite arcade when I hit the random song button. And what came out was a bubbly K-pop bop that absolutely took over my life for the next few days. It is the earworm to end all earworms for me. That plucky guitar at the beginning, that synth hiding in the background hypnotizing me, and that soaring chorus that feels like the OMG girls having the time of their life have all been imprinted on my brain, and I couldn't be happier about it. Oh, you also might have noticed this thing at the beginning. This year, I'm introducing a brand new mechanic to the honorable mentions, the Tough Cut sticker, to help indicate to you guys which songs were... Yeah, this feels redundant. Anyway, listen to this.
The day that I met you, I started dreaming.
This song conveys so many emotions from the moment you press play. You're greeted with Faye's beautiful, soft voice and that steel guitar, and you're immediately wrapped in a dreamy feeling, and you just feel like you never want to leave it. Then you hear her lovesick lyrics, and that dreamy feeling evolves into an intoxicating melancholy that is just as addicting as it is heart-wrenching. It just scratches all the right itches in my brain. Now, if only her face wasn't covered in doo-doo in the album cover.
Baby, tell me where you wanna go.
Olivia Rodrigo's biggest weapon is her authenticity. And while some people think that it's best utilized over slower songs like Driver's License or something, I actually think it's best utilized over songs like this. That sleazy guitar, those crashing drums, and that pounding bass act as the loudest amplifiers of all time when she finally climbs up that chorus and lets out that immaculate. I've never felt more seen. Thank you, O-Rod. What you are hearing right now is the final song of the Daria Core trilogy by Leroy, Daria Core Song Tutorial. Now, as a bit of an exercise, here's a random song I picked out from Leroy. And another. And another. And another. I expect this sound from Leroy, and yet this song's subversion of everything leading up to it has completely enthralled me. Its audacious, crusty guitars grind my brain to a pulp, and those vocal bits scattered throughout are so memorable, especially that little... My only complaint with this song is that I wish it was longer than a minute and a half. It's so good. Jane's made music in a lot of different styles through her multiple different aliases, but what makes this song so amazing is that it feels like a complete mix of everything she's done so far throughout all of her different musical aliases. Digipop elements reminiscent of Frailty and her work as Leroy, smoldering guitars and smooth singing in the verses like Census and Venturing, and powerful vocals in the chorus that define a lot of Jane's best work. The song has been bouncing around in my head ever since it came out, and it kills me to have to leave it off the list, but just take my word for now. It is, without a doubt, one of Jane's best songs. Unhappy Refrain is the best Vocaloid music I've ever heard. It's high octane, it's creative in every facet of its production, and it utilizes the unique features of Miku's voice to create a soundscape unlike anything I've ever heard before. There were a lot of songs on that album fighting for a spot here, but this one went out because its main melody and chorus are just too infectious for me to leave off the list. I didn't watch nearly as many anime this year as I wanted to, but luckily the ones that I did end up watching were really great. However, of these shows, the one that I think surprised and touched me the most was this one, A Place Further Than the Universe, and a small part of that was because this song, sung by its cast, perfectly captures the carefree and joyful vibes that come from the show. Every time I hear it, I'm reminded of what I loved so much about that amazing show, and that's something that should be appreciated thoroughly. Oh, and shout out to Jonathan for recommending me this one. You are a real one, bro. This show is so good. I'm very thankful to you. This year, I moved away from home and began living at college, and it's been an experience. All I really do is go to class, eat my one meal a day, and rot in bed. And somehow, this song has become my anthem for this new lifestyle. It looks welcoming and upbeat from the outside, yet the more you listen to it and the more you read the lyrics, the more dystopian it all starts to feel. It's a track I feel oddly understood by. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. This is sort of hard to explain, but this song makes me feel like I'm submerged underwater and I've somehow found a way to breathe. Like I'm surrounded by the wonders of the ocean, being willfully swept away by the currents as I take in everything around me. And whether it's beautiful or a little more scary, it's just an awe-inspiring experience that you never want to forget. Long and short of it, this song is absurdly pretty. Last year, I played Nier Replicant for the first time, and I love everything about that game. The story, the characters, the world, I love Nier so much. But the thing I think I love the most about these games is their music. I have overwhelmingly positive memories of the music in these games, including the Nier Orchestra concert, which made me tear up uncontrollably, but I think my favorite memory of all was driving home with my best friend after that experience and hearing this song with the windows down. That wave pool won't make me drown. I found this track about halfway through December, and I'm pretty sure if I had longer to sit with it, it probably would have made the list. Dill's singing is just so raw, and the light production touches, like the distortion or the little guitars, do so much to push this song into unreal territory. I haven't heard too many singer-songwriter tunes because, quite frankly, I didn't think they were my cup of tea, but if they pack as much emotion in a simple package as this does, I'm gonna need to change that immediately. For for the second year in a row. This man, Porter Robinson, has made a song I love so much that I considered putting it near the top of my list, only for another one of his songs to rob the spot. What the hell? For real though, I'm not gonna mince my words. This song is incredible. Its explosions of instrumentation are electric, it's layered both in terms of lyrics and sound, and it's catchy in the way that the best 2010s pop songs were, making sure you know all the lyrics by the second time you listen to it. It's literally a perfect pop song, impossible not to sing along to, and impossible to ever forget. Prior to seeing Porter live, I wasn't really familiar with much of his catalog before Nurture besides Shelter. However, during the world section of his show, there was one song that I knew I had to seek out the moment it touched my ears. This song, Language. It has a structure very reminiscent of the Monster Cat songs I loved growing up that made me fall in love with EDM, but unlike those songs, it packs an emotional kaleidoscope within it to make sure every second of its 6-minute runtime pack an amazing, wonderful punch. Shout out Miri. I heard this song in one of your Instagram notes, and the instrumentation has had me captivated since that day. Beyond that though, the song is just hilariously ironic. A song about being so fucked up that you're barely presentable to the person you want to impress is pure genius, and Miss Luxury delivers it with just enough sass and self-loathing that becomes utterly endearing. I mostly checked out the song because my curiosity got the best of me. Like, how does this Danny Brown end up on a song with these Frost children? The answer is because Danny is the GOAT and this song is fucking fire. Danny's flow on both of his verses are sick, all the variations of the drop are pulse pounding, and everyone's vocals cutting in and out makes the song constantly unpredictable. Also, this?
I don't like it, I love it. I want you to touch it and fill me up like the tears say, do it right.
Best lyric of the year. Absolutely zero contest.
I feel it, baby. You feel it too.
Fentanyl's Chaser EP was one of my favorite projects I heard in 2024. Again, thanks Danny Brown. And while all 6 songs on that project share a feral energy that makes them addicting to listen to, Girl Hell stands out for me for the way it builds itself up and strips itself down, causing all this anticipation to spiral upward until the song reaches its final form and detonates.
I've named this one JPEG.
Anytime you need it, she come through. Turn on the light.
On an album where Peggy spends the majority of the runtime throwing the most insane shit at you with 100% conviction, this song takes an opportunity to slow down and really simmer in its beautiful sample, which I have no idea how he found, by the way. What comes from it is a song that seems to have transcended Peggy's normal audience to wow the general hip-hop audience, which, as someone who's been a fan of his for a pretty long time, makes me really, really happy to see. I mean, how could anyone hear this ending and not love this song?
Turn on the light.
Some of you niggas be talking right out of the side of your neck, and I can't believe that to be gas in these little hoes.
What I so okay, got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe K. Hellcat, met his homeboys in them types of.
Speaking of wowing the general hip-hop community this year, Kendrick Lamar. Holy shit. Bro came out of nowhere, just absolutely pissed off with the world, and made 2024 this year. And if you ask me, Euphoria was the best thing to come out of it. It had everything I could possibly want from Kenny in a rap beef and more. You have the introspective bits, the fun bit, the hard bit, the different inflections, the fucking quotables on this song. Are you kidding me?
Cut the business, you got shit twisted. What is it, the braids? The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. Can I bleed them? When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. You assigned to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. That's whole shit. I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about that.
I mean no glaze when I say this. Kendrick Lamar might be the best rapper of all time just off this song.
Integrity, discipline, listen man, you don't know nothing about that. Speaking the truth and consider.
Hey, black flag all on my mic. I've been known to spin.
Of all the great songs off Denzel's homage to the South, this one stood out to me because of those horns in the beat and because OT's verse is the sickest one on the whole album, including from all the ones that Denzel did. Genuinely, one of the best first impressions I've ever gotten from a rapper. It's so fire.
I'm so caught up with the burn Burberry. Pants sack, my dick bounce too heavy. Turn this noodle pack in the spaghetti, then ride with his body on the hood of the Chevy.
Fuck is you talking about? Niggas trying to revolt for the fucking clout. I'll be ready to shoot for my brothers. You tripophobic, you afraid of 100 rounds.
I mean, do I really have to say anything else? He sampled Squidward Tortellini and then proceeded to go apeshit on his own beat. Do I have to say anything else to possibly sell this song to you?
Love with the hand cannon. If we can't touch you, then guarantee that your man's damaged. I had to hop off the porch and
I'ma shut it for you, punk!
If you watch the 2023 list, this song is this year's equivalent to Tally by Midwest. It's a super fun song with super great performances that presumably goes insane in my friend Matthew's car. I don't know, I have to check with him on that. I'm loving a lot of the stuff JVB's making right now, but as of this moment, I don't think they've made a single song as stupidly enjoyable as this one. When I originally played Sonic Frontiers, the only vocal track that stood out to me was Undefeatable, and that song is great. However, when my friend and I went to the Sonic Symphony this year, and I heard this. Right then and there, something changed inside of me. Thank God for Sonic vocal tracks. Around the beginning of this year, I decided to pick up Persona 3 Reload as a birthday gift to myself, which began a multi-month journey where I fell in love with both this franchise and its many songs. Obviously, there's not nearly enough time or honorable mention spots to bring up all the songs I love from this franchise, but I did want to mention a few of them, including this one, the opening for Persona 3 Reload, Full Moon, Full Life. It is a perfect tone setter for this game, starting with a simple keyboard before additional instruments pile on to create a grand, emotional feeling, only further punctuated by the directness of Lotus Juice and the gorgeous voice of Atsushi Kitajo. As for this song from Persona 4, it is a perfect encapsulation of that game's fun and pleasant mood. It all starts with Shihoko Hirata, whose voice is so important to the vibe of this game that she might as well be a character, giving an airy and light performance that's perfect for this song's groovy electropop production. Add in some light orchestral elements in the chorus for good measure, and you get a song that's sure to put a smile on your face. And to wrap up this little Persona section, we have Persona Q's opening track, Maze of Life, which I heard for the first time in Persona 4 Dancing. For this track, what I want to highlight is not the dynamic, exciting soundscape, but instead the message. Sung by the OG vocalists of Persona 3 and Persona 4, it's a super optimistic song about how crazy and amazing it is to befriend any given person in your life and to just enjoy the ride with them. And in a year where I thought I lost all my friends and then I got close with them again, it was a song that just really hit home for me. Again, it's a track where you look at all the elements of it and it's hard to keep a smile off your face. It's just that good. I had a wild little character arc with this song because when I first heard it off the album, I didn't really like it that much. I didn't think Quereka had nearly enough presence on his own track. However, after reflecting on my problems with this song, I now see the vision. It's not a Quereka song. It's a Kevin Abstract song entirely curated by Quereka. And the result of that is a wonderful tune with intimate lyrical stylings and layered, whimsical production that's hard not to turn away from. And last, but certainly not least, I have a bit of a special mention for you guys. I will be blunt. The live rendition of Long Season is the best thing I heard in 2024. It's 41 minutes of glory and passion bleeding together as every single person on the stage performs like it's the last time any of them are ever gonna play music. Combine that together with the context of both the rest of the concert leading up to this and what happened to the band afterwards, and the result is it's beyond words. It's tears, it's astonishment, it's a greater appreciation for music as a whole, and it's something that does not belong on this list. You see, Long Season is not a song by the Fishmans, but rather an album by the Fishmans. That album may be one big 36-minute song, but an album is still an album, and putting that up against a bunch of regular songs just doesn't sit right with me, especially when it's one of the greatest performances of an album that's ever been done. That said, I still wanted to mention this because I want you guys to know about it. Seriously, do some digging on the Fishmans, carve out some time, and sit down with the 98-12-28 Otoko Tachi no Wakare. I promise you, it's worth every single second of your time. And with those songs honorably mentioned, let's get hyped. It's list time, baby. Similar to last year, we're going to be tackling this year's list with the pyramid tier system. If you don't know what that is, essentially, we'll be starting at the base of our pyramid with 5 songs in tier 5, and then we'll be scaling our way up until we reach tier 1 with my song of the year. I'm doing the list this way because 1, I hate making number lists. They're way too hard. 2, I don't have to constantly split hairs with similarly amazing songs. And 3, it lets you know that my love is not magnanimous. I don't love all the songs the same. That's what I mean to say. Now that we're all on the same page, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into...
I don't give a fuck about no one except for me. I wanna watch them tie you up and break your fingers and your knees.
I have an odd relationship with Glaive. I got a couple of friends who are really big fans of him, and then when I went to listen to one of his newer projects at the time, Old Dog New Tricks, it was okay. Like it was fine, really. There was a couple songs I really dug, but overall it was just a really mixed bag. However, going into 2024, Glaive took a very interesting turn into more of a digipop sound, and now, bro's got me by the balls. His vocal style is just made for this sound, and this track is him going as far out left field as he's ever gone before. Lyrics about torturing people like he's in the Mexican cartel, screaming about his family lineage on the chorus, and one of the wildest, most aggressive beats I've heard off him. It's nothing I ever would have expected from him after hearing Old Dog in January of 2023, but I absolutely love it. I'm hoping he plays it in February when me and my friends go to see him so I can yell out with him, but even if he doesn't, I'm really glad Glaive is an artist in my rotation.
It's that time at the end of the night when you're blind.
My favorite album from Quedeca is From Me to You. Yeah, I understand in the greater context of his catalog that it's sort of seen as a transition period between his old and his current sound, but I can't change the way I feel. I love that album. It's a 10 out of 10 to me. Now, that whole album is about a relationship in turmoil. So going from that to this, a song both incredibly sincere and super romantically pure, just makes me really happy for him. The singer-songwriter production also lends itself well to the purity too, as Quedeca sings about being there for his partner and being a positive influence for them. It's just a really sweet and really positive song that's so easy to fall in love with. If I was to make a list of the best albums that came out in 2024, number 1 would be Imaginal Disc. Handedly. That album is a movie. It's unpredictable. It's innovative. It's emotional. It's everything pop music needs right now, even though all the popular artists are just gonna copy Charlie instead. Anyway, everything that Imaginal Disc stands for as an album is captured perfectly in Death and Romance. Piano and synths continually trading places throughout the song keeps you on your toes as Mika's voice pulls you into the distinctly retro-futuristic world of the song. Once you're there, all you have to do is wait as the song glides forward, leading to an ending that just keeps rewarding you for your investment in the song. It manages to be so different from all the current pop music, yet it does it all within the confines of relatively normal production of verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. That kind of innovative thought process in terms of song creation is the reason why this song is so good and why Magbay is one of the best pop acts of the modern day. Welcome to The List, Raw by Scanners, off the NHL 08 soundtrack. It's good to have you. Jokes aside on my insane discovery of this song, I believe its main strength stems from 2 places. This synth and the incredibly dynamic voice of the singer, Sarah. The synth is pretty easy to explain, honestly. It sets a sick bass line for the song, and then it helps highlight all the rest of the instruments in the chorus to wonderful effect. As for Sarah's voice, it almost feels like it's from a different song entirely until the synth helps lift it up. It's wild and over-exaggerated, but for this kind of track, that performance goes a long way in making this song stick in your brain more. And that's pretty much it. The song is sick, it gets better every time you hear it, and it is easily the best song I've heard off of the Chell soundtracks. Rounding out tier 5, we have a track from an artist I wasn't really expecting to place this high. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a few catchy songs that I heard prior to hearing Requiem that I really liked, like Drunk and Talk, but he never really made anything that was blowing me away. Until now. Keshi is usually a great performer, but his vocals on this song are crazy good. They're very evocative of someone who's sad and desperate, and when he says, it all hits you right where it's supposed to. However, the part where the song is elevated from great to outstanding is in the finale, where the drums and guitar crescendo until you hear shit gives me goosebumps. Great work, Keshi. And that closes out tier 5. All amazing songs in their own right, even if they had to fight real hard to be here at the bottom. Now, let's move into I said it earlier, but let me hammer it in one more time. Unhappy Refrain is the best Vocaloid music I've ever heard. Wawaka is the GOAT, and this is my favorite Vocaloid song ever. Frantic drum work is a staple of Wawaka's music that's once again a highlight of this song, But the main thing that makes this track so unbelievable is the mixing. Check this part out. If you have headphones on, you might notice something really interesting with this section of the song. Yeah, there is one solo playing primarily in the right ear, while the rhythm and highs of the drums are emphasized in the left ear. Who does that? In fact, playing with the position of elements in the song is kind of its thing. In this part before the chorus, there's tasteful guitar licks playing in the right ear, while Miku's echoey voice stays mainly on the left. However, the thing that really gets to me about this part is that Miku's echo in the right ear fluctuates in volume. Who does that? It breaks my heart to know that he felt so betrayed by the Vocaloid scene, and it breaks my heart even more to know that we lost such a genius at only 31 years old. But oh my god, did he leave us with some amazing music in his wake. His name will live on forever with these amazing songs, not because Miku is on them, but because he made them special. I've known about Paranol for a minute now, yet despite all the interest I've had towards him as an artist, I haven't checked out any of his music until this year. Even then, I didn't listen to an EP or an album or anything. I just listened to one song. And oh man, what a song I picked! Gritty noise rock is something I haven't really dipped my toes into before, but Paranol's take on the sound is addicting, with drums constantly clipping serving as a great offset to the clarity of his voice. However, even when the song hits the chorus and every element of the song ramps up into a loud flurry, there's still soft bits of the song lurking beneath it all to give the track a refreshing, hopeful vibe. Also, the finale of this song, where he sings the last chorus and you think it's gonna end, same as all the others, only for him to do this. Immaculate. This track single-handedly won me over on Paranol. It had me asking for one of his albums for Christmas, and now there's no artist I'm more excited to explore than this man.
I hear you went down, 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 down. I hear you went down.
When Peggy kicked off his album cycle with this song, I remember being just so excited for this new direction. The guitars, the rattling bass, the same abrasive bravado, everything about it was hyping me up for this project. Then, when the album finally came out, there was something I realized almost immediately during my listen. He changed the song. Some lyrics were completely different, there were some new choices with the mixing, and the ending was completely revamped. Now, I'll preface this by saying that when Peggy usually makes changes to his songs, I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Especially some of the changes he was making when he was updating LP, where I felt like he was actively making the album a little worse with each update. Really, I'm not a fan of when he does that. But these changes, these were everything I didn't know I needed until I heard them. The slightly clearer mix gives his lyrics that little extra punch so their fuck you impact can hit you a bit harder, and the new ending gives the song so much more depth. It's way more indicative of the album's actual sonic direction, being outwardly intimidating but hiding a beautiful edge to it all. Plus, having Freaky back is just nice. I like his bars on the song a lot. I was aware of this Glass Beach album all year, but the thing that finally pushed me into listening to it for the first time was Geometry Dash. In fact, the footage you're seeing right now is from my completion of the level that introduced me to this song, both aptly named Comatose. I feel like I talk a lot about the importance of a song's progression in making it emotionally impactful, and in a world where an artist driving slightly off the beaten path is worth celebrating, Glass Beach is playing Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, and they're taking all the shortcuts. A soft beginning that takes its time to establish the stakes of the song, a pop rock adjacent chorus that immediately worms its way into your brain, a guitar solo, a heavy breakdown where the singer Jay just absolutely loses their mind, and then like the song resets. In an album where there's a non-stop flow of great ideas flying at you at all times, Comatose manages to be the ultimate gift that keeps on giving, with its wild progression only further spurred along by impassioned performances from the entire band that just leaves you speechless by the end. And with that, Tier 4 is done and dusted. Most of these were actually pretty big surprises for me that I didn't realize I was so passionate about until I sat down and had to decide which songs were going to make the list. However, going forward into the next 3 tiers, we will be tackling songs that I felt passionate about for a really long time. Let's move along to when I was playing Persona 5 Royal, this was the song I heard the most by far. And you might be wondering, Ben, how is that possible? It shows up once in the entire main game. The answer is very simple. Because it's the song that's constantly playing in the background while I'm playing Tycoon, baby! Seriously though, I think this song is the crowning achievement of Persona 5's soundtrack. And I know that's kind of a bold statement to make, but I don't think there's any other song on that soundtrack that takes as much advantage of Lin's voice as this one does. The instrumental is great, but it purposefully doesn't have anything super crazy going on while Lin's singing, which helps lift up her amazing performance on this song. Throughout the whole thing, she's passionately belting out about doubting herself and the direction of her life before resolving that she will live her life the way she truly wants. It's a pretty simple message with pretty simple lyrics, but her delivery over this jazzy backdrop is just, it really gets to me. I'm going to be saying that a couple more times moving forward from now, so just bear with me on that. But sometimes you just hear a song and it just connects with you in a way that no other song can. Maybe you hear this song and it's nothing special to you, but to me, it's a powerful song with a really powerful message that I just really needed to hear this year. Didn't think it'd be coming from Persona of all places, but I guess life works in mysterious ways like that. I have zero clue how I found this song. It might have been a Hail Mary YouTube recommendation. My memory's a little fuzzy on it, to be honest, but whatever divine power got this song in front of me, thank you so much. This unreleased song from Camo seems to adopt Jane's shoegazy sound while keeping his more lovesick, hyperpop style lyrics to make for a song that kind of took me by surprise at first. Don't get me wrong, I love Jane's shoegazy stuff, and I love a decent chunk of hyperpop music that I've heard, but it never really occurred to me that smushing these two sounds together could result in such amazing music. The lyrics are blunt and describe a failing relationship, saying how he messed up and fucked up with this person, how he drives by their house to make things right to no avail, and just generally describing how miserable he is to not be with this person. Jane also chips in with her own blunt lyrics, which is all amplified tenfold by the instrumentation and the vocal effects layered on to accentuate their pain. It's very unabashedly dramatic, and giving it to us straight with no sense of irony and a full commitment to the concept sonically leads to the song really sticking the landing to me and becoming a super sincere showcase of teenage romance. I mean, how could you not buy in when the ending sounds like this? Got me feeling like my heart was broken. Please release this song. Even if I couldn't have Long Season on the list, there was absolutely no way this list wasn't going to have something from 98 12 28 on it. That performance is unreal, and a lot of the songs from it evoke some very heavy emotions out of me. However, the song that I ultimately ended up picking from it doesn't really make me feel that emotional. Instead, it turns me into this guy from Persona 3. Of course, Shinji Sato is singing with every bit of his heart and soul. I mean, that is the reason this performance is what it is. But let's not take credit away from the other people that make this so good. Kenichi's guitar and Yuzuru's bass create an intense groove that's backed perfectly with extra embellishments from Darts and Honzai, and Zach, the person who's doing the mixing up there, is doing God's work to make sure everything has the neo-psychedelia edge it's supposed to. That mixing is most notable in the song during the solo, where the rhythm and lead guitar are piled on perfectly with each other without completely overwhelming the keyboard or the tambourine. And then, just when you think it's over, it slaps you right across the face with a brand new groove, even tastier than the last. The only complaint I could possibly give this song is that it feels much too short for all of the amazing ideas it throws at you. And if I'm saying that about a song that is 7 minutes and 45 seconds long, that should tell you everything you need to know. And with that, Tier 3 is finished, and we are moving on to my top 3 songs of the year. While I feel strongly about any given top 3 of any year that I've done this list, I will let you know, out of the 4 years that I've done this so far, this group of songs is the one I've felt the most strongly about. Let's not waste any more time. Let's move on to... You may remember this little detail from when I was talking about Jane Remover earlier, but in case you don't, Jane Remover has a different alias called Leroy. Leroy is very interesting to me because she released a trilogy of great albums under that name and then promptly put it to rest to focus on making stuff for Jane Remover. She did her thing as Leroy, cultivated that audience, and then moved on. However, about a year after she buried Leroy, it came back. And while I'm not in her mind to know why she went and robbed Leroy's grave, I can tell you one thing. She made a great fucking choice. I've seen some people say grave robbing is essentially Daria Core 4 and that it's just sort of the same thing as she was doing before, but I vehemently disagree. I think this statement is easiest to disprove with my favorite moment on the project, the 9-minute stretch of Put Me Back Together and Front Door Entry. Let's start with what's similar. Like in Daria Core, the samples all over both of these songs are amazing. There are 22 tracks sampled between these two songs, and whether it's their vocals or parts of their instrumental, they're all mashed together so well with the original elements to create an identity all their own. However, in that old trilogy, these elements are airtight and claustrophobic, whereas here they are given adequate room to really breathe. This not only gives these songs a chance to have real atmosphere, but it also gives them the chance to build meaningful peaks and valleys. This happens on both songs in euphoric ways. On Put Me Back Together, Kesha's little is present throughout the entire song as elements come and go throughout the track. However, when it finally reaches its climax and you hear that it drops out of the track and brings everything to a new height as Peggy and Selena Gomez take over. As for Front Door Entry, the main constant in this track is Ariana Grande's Into You. It is everywhere in this song. And just as you think it's fading out with it, it builds up once again, bringing a final drop that pulls elements from nearly every sample in this section, including Jane's own song. I know I'm sort of breaking the rules by bundling these two tracks together, but it's my list. I make the rules. I spent all year listening to these two tracks together, and they will remain together on this spot on the list as a testament to just how fun music can truly be. You know, I was reading some old stuff I'd written throughout high school, and year after year, there was this one prevailing theme in a lot of my writing, that the current year, whatever it was, sucked fucking ass. I said it in this script from 2022 in reference to that year in 2021. I said it in this private Instagram story from 2023, and I nearly wrote it in this list in 2024. But I thought of this upcoming song and something stopped me. Genuinely, not to be pessimistic, life just kind of sucks. However, it doesn't suck all the time. When you think you've lost everything, you will find it again. When you think you've wasted all of your time, there will come a moment where it'll become clear that you didn't. And when you feel hopeless, when you feel no reason to go on, to live your life, you need to put this song on and think to yourself,
"Don't kill yourself, you idiot."
I am so thankful to Porter Robinson this year. I love Nurture, and it was everything I wanted in 2023. But Smile was what I needed in 2024. And if there was a song I needed the most off of it, it was Russian Roulette. The song obviously sounds great. It is a great mix of EDM and pop rock. I don't want to talk about the sound of this song because it's not the thing that made me fall in love with it. It was the lyrics. And not this lyric, by the way. Although, it is the second best lyric of the year. On this track, Porter talks about being stuck with so much expectations and pressures because of his job, and how sometimes it causes him to consider stopping, to consider playing Russian roulette. However, as the song moves along, it shifts from a song about being so completely overwhelmed to a song about hope. He talks about things he wants to do again. He wants to play his songs, to lose his phone, to kiss his cat, to change one more time. He wants... That was what I needed to hear this year. Thank you, Porter, for that, the tour, for bringing me together with my friends. Thank you. And last, but certainly not least, I kind of hate to continue on this sad choo-choo train. I'm not looking for pity, I swear to God. But I'd like to elaborate a little more on my 2024, if you guys don't mind. I mentioned it a couple times already, but I started college this year, and it's always been pretty bad, but I think this stretch from September to November was probably the worst my depression has ever been. You know the gag from a bunch of different cartoons where it's just like a rainy cloud following over someone wherever they go? That was like, to exaggerate a little, that was pretty much my life for like 3 months straight. Just gray clouds, rainy days, all the time. It just, life just sucked for that stretch of time, if I'm going to be honest with you. It was getting to the point where I would wake up in the morning to my alarm and this huge wave of dread would wash over me. And I would just think to myself, Why? Why should I get up? I don't like my classes. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to do any work. I don't want to do anything. Why should I get up? What is the point? This is the point. Here it is. It's not the perfect cookie cutter, crowd pleasing answer I'd like to give for my song of the year, but there was no question about it. Brand New Days, a song from Persona 3 Fez that I heard for the first time on Persona 3 Dancing, is the song I loved the most this year. To me, this song is just hope. It is the sunshine after the rain. It has melancholic undertones that comfort me, yet its sound is so overwhelmingly beautiful and accepting and bright to me that it only serves to remind me that this world is worth living in. Even when things suck, there are people who care for you, people that want to see you at your best. So get up and live in this world. See the good. Be optimistic. That's the message I get from this song sonically. And that meant everything to me. And that's what I'm getting from this song before I even mention the actual lyrics. Now, I can't get too much into the song because it would require spoiling Persona 3, and I would rather die than spoil Persona 3 for someone. But the song is about accepting a painful loss of life and moving in stride towards a brighter tomorrow for that person. Now, how I talked about the song before is how I usually hear it. However, the few times where I read the lyrics to the song and I considered its intended context, the song kind of destroyed me. Just completely. There is not a single song I've heard that could do what this song does to me, that I can view two different ways and get two entirely different messages out of, that could will me out of bed when all I wanted to do was lie there, that could help me embrace my life. And that's why Brand New Days is my 2024 Song of the Year. And now, as the Wii Sports announcer so eloquently put it all those years ago, that's the game! Those were my top songs of 2024, along with another great big batch of honorable mentions. Just like last year, I've left a nifty playlist in the description with each and every song that's available in a few different places, so if anything seemed interesting to you from this list, please make sure to check it out there. And if nothing seemed interesting to you in this video, don't tell me. Also, make sure to drop a comment if this video showed you something cool or taught you something interesting or made you think of Ariana Grande's Into You for the first time in a couple of years. It would make me super duper happy. And lastly, once again, thank you for listening to this whole thing. It might not have been a long-standing commitment that was eating away at my soul, but it was still something that I worked really, really hard on. So for you to sit through all of it means the world to me. So thank you oh so much. I don't really know what comes after this for the channel, but until I figure it out, I've been Hyphen, this has been Mixtape, and take care. This is hot. Hot as fuck.